Alright guys, so this is my RV. I'm just going to do a walkthrough for you on video here. So as you go around the outside of the RV, I have a bunch of storage lockers underneath that you can store stuff. Some of the lockers have some things inside for you already, like some chairs. Going around, some things you won't need, like for example in here, this is just the propane tank. In the RV, the propane runs the furnace if you need heat, and it also runs the gas cooktop inside. So that's about it. There's also a little plug in here if you have a camp grill. You can plug in the gas directly here. When you return the RV, if you use propane, you'll want to take it to an RV gas station and refill the propane so that's full. And these just close with those little quarter locks. This compartment you won't need, it's just the house batteries. So there's nothing to do in there, so you can just keep that locked. Right here you have the outside entertainment TV. You've got a remote in here, and there's an HDMI cord inside that you can plug in a laptop to be able to watch stuff out here. Going around, also for kind of outside entertaining, you've got this section, you've got a fridge, and you've got a sink. So one thing unique about this, when you run the water in here, the water won't drain on its own. There's actually a button right here that you press, and that'll drain the water through. So just so you know, got an outlet, some cabinets. Here's another one of those storage lockers. This storage locker goes all the way through, so you can see I have a table in there and another couple chairs. Also, I have one of these camp mats, and this is just for you to put outside the door if you're like camping and it's dirt and stuff, so that way you can leave your shoes outside and you don't have to track a bunch of dirt in. If you're in a paved RV campground, then you probably won't need this because you'll have asphalt or concrete or something, but if you're out in the desert, then you'd want to use that. Okay, this is the water tank. So this is when you're on tank water, so not hooked up to shore water, but on tank water. You'll just fill it up here. The water tank holds 50 gallons of fresh water. Coming around, don't use the ladder, don't get up on the roof. This is just for service and accessing things on top. Continuing around, you have another storage locker. This is the other side where that table and chairs are. So if you have anything long, like fishing rods or something, you can throw them in there, or duffel bags. Okay, this RV runs on gas. So it's not diesel, it's gas. Just use regular unleaded at the pump. And that's all you need. The generator is back here. You won't need to access that. Everything that controls it is inside. All right, we'll hit this last. You got storage again in here. This is your power cord. This RV is a 50 amp hookup. So on your power cord, I have a surge protector, and you'll just plug that in to the shore power. And then this reverse side, I'll pull that out, will get plugged in right here. And if you see there's some differences in the plugs there, you'll line it up, and then you'll just do a little turn like that to lock it in, and then this locks down, and then that's attached. And then when you plug that into shore power, this little green light should light up to let you know the power's coming through. I do have an adapter if your hookup only has 30 amp. That's as low as you can go. If you hook up to 30 amp, some of the amenities inside the RV won't work, but most everything else will. Also, in this one, you got your freshwater hose. I have a little filter on it, And then this is a pressure regulator, so if there's a water pressure surge from the campground, it won't blow things out in the RV. And when you hook up to shore water, that goes right in here. So you'll just grab the nozzle, hold it here, and then you'll twist that. And that's how you hook up to shore water. Okay, and then you have more storage compartments here. All right, so this is the dump out hose. So now I'll show you how to dump out over here. All right. So this is your black water tank. Black water tank is everything that goes into a toilet. The black water tank is a 40-gallon tank. This is your gray water tank. The gray water tank is everything that goes into a sink or shower. So when you dump this out at the campground, there'll be a hole in the ground with usually a metal cover. This end of the hose will go to the metal cover out there. And there's an extension if it's longer, but this end of the hose will come into the end of the RV. So this end of the hose will connect to the RV, and the way you do this is you remove this floor plate right here, set it off to the side, and then this cover, you'll remove that. And then you'll connect this hose up in, and you can see the notches right here and kind of the teeth. You'll just push it up in and give it a little turn like that. And then obviously I'm not going to empty it right here, but what you'll do first, you'll always do black water first. Do the black water first, run that all the way through till you don't see it coming through anymore, and then shut that. And if for any reason it's not coming through like it should, you can press this waste pump right here, and that'll help accelerate anything that's clogged in there. So black water first. Once that's all the way out, you'll shut it, and then you'll release the gray water. And again, the gray water is everything from the shower and the sink, and that'll come through and that'll flush everything out of the hose, clean the hose out, and dump it. Depending on how many people you have, you may be emptying black water every 2 to 3 days and gray water every 1 to 2 days. And then this is a little rinse off station if you happen to need to rinse anything off in here. All right, so this is the door. When you open it, sometimes if it ever feels stuck, one way that you can do it, just take your right hand, put your thumb right there, and pop it out. For some reason, it'll feel stuck sometimes, but it's still unlocked. If you ever do lock it, the keys are on here, and you can just lock it like that. All right, come on in. Okay, so a couple things in the RV. This RV, the whole side bumps out. I'm gonna show you a couple things up here in the driver's seat first, and then we'll bump out the side. All right, so we'll come to the driver's seat. There's a couple things that I'll show you up here. When you sit in the driver's seat, you can't see them, but you have some controls down here on your left side to move the chair around. I'll move it back just for a second. All right, and then next, I'll turn the RV on. Get your thermostat controls right here. Turn that down so you can hear me. This video monitor, this doesn't automatically turn off and on, so you have to push power. That's the power button underneath there. You have to turn it on and off manually. And that's where your cameras will come up. All right, what I want to show you over here, if you can bring the camera. So this LCI electronic leveling system, this is really cool. So I'll turn that on, and then I will hit auto. And right now the RV is slanted to the right. And so I'll hit this auto button and just hold it for a second and release it. And you'll see the button saying wait. This RV has 4 jacks, so you can see the camera move there. The jacks will deploy, and it will perfectly level out the RV. And you'll want to do that at your campground when you're getting the RV ready to sleep and everything like that, so it's even. Once I've done this, now I can go back and I can show you how to pop the wall out, or the slide out on the RV. So that'll do its thing. It'll flash wait, and then it'll go away, and it won't be flashing anymore, and it'll just say jacks down when it's all the way done. Okay, now once the jacks are done, you can just hit the on-off button and turn that system off so it doesn't run the battery anymore. Another thing to note, when you do the automatic leveling, you're gonna need to have the emergency brake on. The emergency brake has a pedal right here and the release right here. So the emergency brake needs to be on for the automatic leveling system, and it also needs to be on when you bump the slide out. Another thing, when you bump the slide out, the key needs to be in the ignition with the motor running. If you don't have the emergency brake on and the key in the ignition with the motor running, the slide will not bump out. A couple more things here. You do have a camera, so you have if I turn my signal to the right, you'll see the right camera go. If I turn my signal to the left turn signal, the camera will go. And also if I put it in reverse, the rear camera will go. Also, I can toggle between the different camera angles in park by just pressing this button, and it'll go between the different camera angles. And then you have your mirror controls right here. So on each of your rear view mirrors, you have a normal mirror and then a wide angle mirror. The wide angle mirror, if you want to adjust it, you actually have to push it with your hands. You have to walk outside and adjust it. But the normal mirrors, you can just flip this button and then just adjust it as you want. These buttons right here, if it's getting hot while you're driving, you can click these fans on. You have these little fans up here that you can turn on. Also, right here you have the sunshade. So while the key's in the ignition, it will stop halfway. But when the key's out of the ignition, it'll go all the way to the bottom. And so like if you're camping, you'll shut the blinds, you'll close that shade, and you'll have your privacy. All right, now coming in towards the bathroom, a lot's going to be controlled in this digital panel. So at the home button right here, first I'll turn the lights on. I can do all lights on, or you can, turn each of the individual lights on, but we'll do all lights on for now. And then coming back here, electric, this is how you start the generator. So to start the generator, it's really easy. All I'll do is press and hold the start button for just a second, and then you'll hear the generator starting, and then once I hear it turn on, I'll release it. And that's how you start the generator. And we'll sit here for a second. The generator will run for probably 5 seconds, and then you'll hear a beep, and the AC will turn on, the fridge will turn on, and everything that draws power from the generator to be able to run will start to turn on. So we'll let that run for a second, and then we'll go and turn it off, and I'll show you how to do that. Coming over here, climate. So you have, in the front, you have air condition and heat. In the rear, you have air condition, and that's how you dial these down. High, low, auto. There you go. So you could hear that beep. That was the generator turning the AC on, so now the AC works. All right. If I come over here, so that was climate. Now tanks. So these are your tanks, right? So you have freshwater tank, gray water tank, black water tank, and liquid propane gas. If you are hooked up to the shore water, you'll turn the freshwater pump off. If you're needing to draw from the RV's water tank, you'll turn that water pump on. And then here you have 2 water heater selections. You either have electric or gas. If you're running your water heater off the generator, you're gonna select the gas. If you're running your water heater off of shore power, you'll select water heater electric. Okay, so again, you have 50 gallons of fresh water, and 40 gallons of holding in both gray and black water. All right, now the coach. Okay, so this is how you pop out the slide. Again, remember you need the key in the ignition, you need the emergency brake on, and then you'll press and hold this extend button. And you're gonna wanna press and hold it until the slide fully pops out. And you'll hear the noise change when that slide gets to the end. So if you just show here, you can see it pop out and moving. I'll keep my finger on the button and I'll hold it, and you'll hear it go, and that's when you want to release your finger. So you can see you get a lot of space in here when the slide pops out. All right, so listen for it. All right, and also I'm watching up here, and this is kind of how I see how close the slide's getting. So that's everything that you're gonna see from the panel. When you do the retract, it's the same thing. You're gonna press and hold, and you're gonna hear that same noise, and the slide's gonna come and press it all the way, and it's gonna have that same noise where it'll just kind of like dial down. So again, this is kind of the control panel. That's where a lot of things are operated in here. All right, over the stove top. So the stove top is run off propane gas. You have your 3 burners up here. You can see in the picture which burner it is, so I'm gonna turn this burner on to show you. I'll turn the propane on. When there's propane coming out, it's gonna go red. To ignite it, this is the igniter. And then you can see the propane, the flame ignite. If I wanna turn that off, I'll just turn that off right like that. For the oven to work, when I bought the RV, they said the oven is pretty hard to turn on, but essentially it's the same way. You'll turn the gas on, but for this you'll let it sit for 10 to 20 seconds and then you'll ignite it. But for most people, I just recommend the burners and the microwave to plan on using that. The microwave will work when the generator is on or you're connected to shore power. It won't run without that. The refrigerator, you have a freezer and fridge right here, and this is your safety for when you're driving, so just keep that closed when you're driving. That'll keep it from opening up. And again, the fridge and the freezer, those are going to turn on when you're connected to shore power or your generator's running. It's a really well insulated fridge, so it can go for 6 to 10 hours without any power and keep your food cold just fine. Okay, so a good way to keep the RV cool if you're driving or if it's just a nice, summer night. There's this vent right here, and there's a dial where you'll open up the vent like this, and then you can turn the fan on, and that's gonna suck all the hot air out. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 as far as speed, how fast it sucks out. If I turn the fan off and I want this shut, I can shut this. You have the same system in the bathroom, so if you want the vent in the bathroom on, it's the same system. You'll do the manual hand dial to open up the latch, and then you'll turn the fan on. Okay, moving. So when you're driving, this one can be open when you're driving because there's a shield over top of it, but for the bathroom one, make sure that one's closed. That one's not supposed to be open when you're driving because there's no shield over the bathroom flap. Also coming forward, you've got a smart TV in here. There's 3 TVs on the RV, the one outside, one in the main galley, and then one in the master bedroom. And all the HDMI cords are up here in this cabinet. We got a little tape on here that marks them master or bedroom. And again, so it's HDMI. If you want to plug into like an iPad, you need to get the official like Apple converter. We've bought ones on Amazon that don't work. Otherwise, you can plug HDMI into a laptop, no problem. All right, so this is your drop-down bed. You have a key here. You can lock it, unlock it. And again, the key has to be out of the ignition. If the key's in the ignition, it's a safety feature. This won't work. So the key's out of the ignition, the motor's off, and I can press down, and this bed will drop down. And typically it doesn't go low enough to hit the seat, so you don't need to worry about that. And yeah, somebody can sleep up here. I'll show you, we have ladders that will attach to this, so let's go back here. You have ladders that will attach to that, and then also ladders that will attach to the top bunk. Those ladders are found in this compartment right here. So this ladder, there's 3 rung ladders for the bunk bed, and then for the drop down above the driver's seat, you have this 4 rung ladder. They both work the same. I'll show you how they work. Undo the clip and just raise them up, and then these will hook over the middle brackets, and then to collapse them you just push these buttons on this side and they collapse right down. So pretty easy to use. And I'll put it back. You got closet space in here. This is the master bedroom. So you've got a king size bed, and we've got a little memory foam pad on there. You have some compartments, some wall outlets for charging. You have drawers in here. Most of the time we'll store your towels in this drawer right here. So if you're looking for those, that's where they are. Also, while we're here, I'll show you the blinds. All the shades in the RV are the same. You'll pull them down manually and then release, and they'll stop. And then to have them go up, you just pull them down a little bit and release, and they'll go up automatically. Also, the windows in all the RVs work like this. You'll turn it to the right, and you can see those little arms. They'll go extend the window out, and you'll get about 3 or 4 inches of clearance, and it lets some air come in. And then to shut it, I just turn it back to the left, and those arms widen up, and they snug the window in. When you're driving, I mean, just keep the windows in. If you're just camping or parked, you can open up the windows and let some airflow in. Okay, the master bedroom does have a door for privacy. So there's a little pull pin right here that locks it up here when it's in the storage position. So I'll pull it down, slide it across, and then it'll lock right here again. So if I want to open it, I'll just pull this pin and then push it back, and then it'll go back into its spot for the storage position. So let's go into the bathroom. In the bathroom, it's important to remember this shower door. So the shower door has a latch on it right here. That latch needs to be closed whenever you're driving. If it's not closed, you will hear the shower door fly back and forth. And then in the shower here, so I can turn the water on and it'll come out like that. And then this right here, we'll just turn the water off. So that way you can have everything set to the temperature you want. And since if you're on tank water, you can do that to preserve water, so you're not just letting water run while you're soaping or something. And then turn that up and the water will go again. And then you've got your sink. Again, the fan here is the same as the fan out there, where you're gonna manually open this before you turn the fan on. All right, the toilet just operates on gravity. So there's a push flusher down here. If you do half a flush, it'll just fill the bowl of water. But if you do a full flush, then that's when it opens up. And again, it's just gravity. Only RV toilet paper down there, please, nothing else down the toilet, or else it will get clogged. So just be careful of that. Flush freely to make sure nothing gets clogged. All right, so in the RV, you have seat belts on each side of the table, and you also have seat belts underneath this bed. So this couch folds into a bed. All you do is kind of grab it under here and pull it out, and then that lays flat into a bed, and somebody can sleep on there. Seat belts are under here, so you just reach your hands down here and pull them out, and just push it in. Push it in like that. All right, so now when you get ready to go, we'll retract the slide in. So you hit coach, press and hold retract. Again, you have to hold on this one. It's a safety feature, so that way just if you release, it'll stop. So we'll hold here, and again, I'm listening for the noise, and then I'm just kind of watching the top of the slide to see how far it's coming in. But it'll come in and it'll feel pretty close in on you when you retract. we're close to it being fully retracted in. You'll hear the noise change. Okay, so you hear that. All right, so that's fully in. So now, and again, just lighting too. Lights, you can do all off, and that'll turn all the lights off. All right, let's go this way. All right, so again, when I retract the jacks, I'll turn the leveling system on. And then this all jacks retract button, I'll press that. And you can hear it, the jacks will start to retract. Again, you have this flashing wait button, jacks down. Once they retract fully up, that button will go off and the wait button will go off. And a good best practice is always to go outside of the RV and go down and check and make sure the jacks are all the way retracted. So always go kind of get a visual on the jacks first. Okay, so in here in the stairwell, this is where you're gonna turn the lights on for the shade on the side and extend it. So right here, I'm gonna hit this extend button, and then you can start to see the shade extend. And then again, this button, if I just take my finger off, it's gonna stop. And then coming back in right here, the retract button is right next to it. And also, if I want to turn the awning lights on, there's some LED lights on the arms of the awning. You turn those on right there.